And thanks for joining us. It's the This Week in Football Cruise. We talk about stories in the NFL, and a big one, obviously, with the Giants. Not only the loss to the Vikings, but Eli Manning, the emotionless Eli Manning. What do you make of all this chatter about him? The post-game press conference, Howard, that he's showing no emotion. On the field, no emotion?
I think you don't have anything to write about. I think you don't have anything to talk about. When you're talking about somebody not showing emotion, you just have nothing to say, because basically this kid plays well. He never says anything. He never pumps his fist. He just kind of plays, goes through the game. No one cares. And as soon as he starts making mistakes, they want him to throw a fit, cry, do something. And he doesn't do it. So, hey, it's part of the game. I'd rather him throw touchdowns, make plays, win games. I don't care if he never says a word.
You know, I really do believe, though, about 90% of America, even if they're out, if you've been competitive on some level and you're out throwing the Nerf football in the backyard and you throw a bad pass or do something stupid, you're like, oh, why'd I do that? You don't feel like you get that from Eli on the field.
And particularly what happened on Sunday was, 4 picks, 3 of them taken back the other way for a touchdown. It never happened to the Giants, and they've been playing football since 1925. After the game, Eli just treated it, and I was at that post-game press conference, he just treated it like it was just another loss. And, he played well, but, you just saw nothing out of him that would indicate he just played one of the worst games probably a Giant quarterback has ever played. This is a team that has very passionate fans. It's a very passionate city. They want a passionate quarterback. Phil Simms would have reacted the same way. Terry Collins wouldn't have reacted the same way.
Gary, he's never changed. He's the same guy that he was when he took over. We never get any emotion from him, and you're not going to. You're going to have to take Eli the way he is or get another quarterback. But he's not going to get emotional.
And I was going to say that even a bigger issue than that, and certainly a bigger issue than that, is he's past the point of having games like this. The Giants cannot survive with Eli Manning staying on this very, very mediocre level. He's had 50 career starts, and we haven't seen any indication from him yet that he's getting any better.
Well, here's the thing, now. I understand all that, and I want to belittle the bad game and everything, but you got to remember this. His brother had the same type of game, 6 interceptions 2 or 3 weeks ago. If he has the same type of game 2 or 3 weeks ago, you don't hear him going nuts or going crazy. Eli is a quarterback.
So what are we saying? He runs in the family?
No, I'm just saying let him play quarterback. I don't care if he sings, dances, does whatever, as long as he throws touchdowns and tries not to throw as many interceptions.
You know what? When you have a Super Bowl ring on your finger, you're allowed the benefit of the doubt of having a really bad game with 6 interceptions.
You know what? It's going to happen. Nobody's perfect.
All right, guys, with that in mind, let's move on and talk about the game against the Bears this week. And the Bears with a special teams unit, like across the board, Coach, that can absolutely kill you and control a game.
Yeah, they can hurt you in a lot of different ways. That punt block against the Broncos really broke their back, but he had 2 returns before that, a punt return and a kickoff return. Hester is a very special kind of guy. His team is very timed up right now, and that's a dangerous thing. But Hester has great vision, and he has great explosiveness. But the other thing he does is he controls his speed. So he allows his blockers to make the timing and the blocks just at the right time. And then when he's ready to go, he's gone.
And what did you think about with the Broncos? Todd Sauerbrunn said, you know what, our philosophy, we're going to kick right at him, see what happens.
Well, Todd Sauerbrunn is a punter, and I don't want to demean any other athletes on the field, but you don't talk if you're not going to be making tackles. If you're just kicking the ball away and hoping the other 10 guys are going to make a play, be quiet. Don't say nothing.
They did put that on the bulletin board. I read the articles out in Denver. They put it up on the bulletin board. So they just got those guys, lit a fire under the
All right. Guys, let's move on just to the Patriots. Final thought is they're now 11-0, but very tough game against the Eagles now. And I wonder if some people saw some things in what the Eagles did that they might apply somewhere down the line against the Patriots, and maybe that will lead to a loss by the Patriots.
Well, I think they got good pressure on Tom Brady, especially early in the game. And they had a lot of success throwing the ball over the middle, between the numbers, rather than throwing it outside. Every time they went outside, it seemed Asante Samuel picked it off. So I think that they provided somewhat of a blueprint. But when you look at their schedule the rest of the way, they got Baltimore on Monday night in Baltimore, and they have Pittsburgh, then the Jets and the Dolphins, and then they finish up at Giant Stadium. I mean, they're going to be big favorites in each of these games, and it's going to be a surprise now if they don't finish off the season 16-0.
Coach, do you believe in the theory that they've had a couple close games or tougher games, that's good for the Patriots?
Oh, I think it's good for the Patriots, but I also think the other teams are taking note. When it's a game that's close, they're picking apart some of the things that have worked against them, and But, you know, not everybody has Brian Westbrook in the backfield, so that sort of helped the Eagles a little bit.
And I think at least the Eagles may have exposed some things with A.J. Feely at quarterback, by the way, about the Patriots' defense. Is that fair or not?
No, I think it's more, and don't take this the wrong way to the Eagles. I don't want to take anything away from them, but I think it's more of what the Patriots didn't do. They didn't come out sharp. They didn't come out fired up. They've been talking about this humble pie thing for weeks and how they want to stay humble, how Belichick's been on them. They got a great teaching film this week to look at, to go back and say, like, hey, look, these guys had a backup quarterback. They had bad players. They've been written off, and all of a sudden they come out and give us a game. Now the humbleness comes back, and now they can refocus. All you need is a couple close brushes to make you bone up a little bit and play harder.
All right. Well, don't forget, every week you can catch us This Week in Football. All new editions every Tuesday, and then, of course, multiple re-airs throughout the week. So check your local listings or just go to YesNetwork.com and check us out.